Put him, excuse me.
Hanlon's razor was coined by Robert J. Hanlon, but it has been used by many throughout history, not the least of which, and likely the most famous example, would be attributed to Napoleon Bonaparte when he said, "Never ascribe to malice that which is adequately explained with incompetence." Now, the general principle of Hanlon's razor holds true to this day. Nevertheless, I believe it is incumbent upon us to consider those times in which this principle falls short. For one, we must ask ourselves, is there any point in which incompetence in the highest orders of government or authority becomes malignant and evil in and of itself? I think this forced dichotomy, which is used by Hanlon's razor to justify those people, which actively oppress us, leading our nation into the worst spiral of corruption and recession, which has been within our lifetimes, and we seek to put them off the hook. Why? Because they're incompetent? Is it not worth considering that at some point the level of incompetence is indeed evil in and of itself? Let's use another analogy. Let's say a church is run by a hierarchy of bishops, and these bishops are not evil. They love God in some sincere way, but they're so utterly incompetent, so unable to teach the word properly or uphold any standard of justice. They are unaware of what goes on in their midst because they are just terrible leaders. Would it not be appropriate to say that the leaders of this local diocese are evil? What they are doing is evil, even though the intention of their heart is not malignant. What is being brought about by their inaction in this case is a wrong thing and must be addressed by what is done rather than what is felt. I believe we need to analyze seriously those who have been set the rule over us. Allow us to use one more example. It has been said that Hollywood and all of our public institutions have been corrupted by Satan, and they go out and dress up as the devil and worship the devil and play towards the satanic. Now, the answer which is utilized to justify them for these things is, of course, well, they don't actually believe in God and the devil, you see. They are merely mocking the superstitious religions of the day. But at what point does playing toward the idea of the devil actually cross over to inviting the devil into your life? At what point does pretending to sacrifice children on altars actually become indistinguishable from sacrificing children on the altars of Moloch?
Building an altar for your abortion can be a really cathartic procedure.
You see, we have forced a dichotomy in our mind that what is important is whether or not people are sincere, whether or not their heart is good. Of course, this is impossible for us to know because we are not the all-seeing God who is able to look into the hearts and minds of men. And therefore, we have one standard of judgment which we have given up, and that is the fruit, the actions of these people with whom we have to do. And we choose not to judge them. Why? Because we are not able to look into their heart. I would like to present that Hanlon's razor, as well as mystical principles of looking into the motifs of one's hearts and minds, is not entirely relevant in our current moment. What matters is the actions. What matters is what people do, what they are producing, and they should be judged according to their work, whether it be good or evil. And if an evil work is done, it should be treated as evil. If oppression is done, it should be treated as oppression. We don't need to consider the malignant activity of these men as though we can look into their hearts. It is irrelevant. Evil is evil, and it should be treated as such. This has been my cross-examination of the applicability of Hanlon's razor in our current cultural moment. I hope you found this helpful. If you have thoughts, leave them in the comment section down below. God be with you all.